Don't forget to stick around through the end of the video for information on our Arrive Serpentor Arrive giveaway. Ferrix, another barren landscape of a planet that's almost ironically teeming with a large population of people, despite there not being a large appearance of vegetation or, well, reason to be there. Perhaps being located in the free trade sector of the galaxy? Seemingly a place where many things can be found, including the titular character of Andor, the series that brought us Ferrix. Once part of the Galactic Republic, Ferrix later fell under Empire control after the end of the Clone Wars. This meant a large presence of troopers and officers to establish and maintain Imperial order. We do see a tragic flashback in the Andor series that we won't spoil, but it depicts an uprising of the people in Ferrix against the Empire, where stones were thrown at marching groups of troopers and officers. This event was a strong showing of disapproval and rejection of the occupation, but resulted in several tragic, potentially avoidable incidents. Here's hoping we get to see and learn more about Ferrix. Until we do, collectors can start building their own Ferrix display or landscape with a recent and forthcoming releases from Hasbro. Hey everyone, my name is Jonathan, aka JK of JK Collection. Remember, I'll be posting new videos at least twice a week, if not more. If that sounds of interest to you, please click that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. It truly does help out the channel, and it honestly means a lot to me. In this episode, we are taking a closer look at the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Ferrix Imperial Officer. Hey everyone, welcome back, and here we have it, the Imperial Officer from Ferrix from Star Wars Andor. Another one that has escaped the plastic-free packaging. He still kept the plastic. And there we go, on the back, little artwork showing the character as it is represented in the figure. A little bit of information about what's going on with Andor and talking about the Empire and all that jazz. And there's the larger artwork that we're used to with these general boxes on the side. But I do like it because it turns into kind of like a mural across it, and you can see who it is very quickly by peering at the side. And then of course that side panel is the same. And there's our Andor color scheme, that orangish red kind of hue. But you know what, without any further ado, it's an Imperial officer. Do they deserve a lot of focus time? I don't think so. So let's bust them open and let's see what we've got. Alright, so there we go. There is our empty box, and we'll move that to the side. And we'll take this top piece of plastic off, move that to the side. There's our pal, the old pamphlet. I swear I don't buy these to collect the pamphlets, but it is exciting to see how many I can accrue. There's our generic blaster, and let's pull this guy out. Helmet and all. Okay, so neat to see the goggles already pop off, which means that they are removable. So there we go, empty tray. We will move that to the side. And let's take a look at what we've got here. Wow, this already cast some little bits and pieces off of it. I'm a little concerned about that. I'll have to see where that came from. Okay, so the blaster. Let's take a closer look at this one. And there we go. Our focus is working for us. It almost, when I took it out, I thought it got bent or had some kind of misshapenness to it. But it's just the way that it's designed. I thought this had happened in the package. It gave the optical illusion that the barrel was bent upwards, and I don't think it is. I mean, it might be ever so slightly, but it's not as much as this piece makes it appear to be. Which it seems like it's got little legs that are propped down to be like a tripod or a two legs to hold it up, and maybe this one's a front one, so it would be a tripod. Either way, it would be neat if they did move, but. One thing that I saw when I was prattling on about this was over here on the side. Look at that. That actually has a little bit of a silver paint treatment to it. How about that? It's neat to see that little thing, because usually I'm here saying, boy, it would be cool to see some additional paint apps on here to make the details really pop. Still would be great to see some more things on here, or, you know, like G.I. Joe Classified, we could see that be removed, or movable pieces on it, but I am very thrilled to see that. That's exciting. It's a nice, just little unnecessary extra detail that they could have gotten away with not doing. So there we go. There's our guy's blaster. And let's take a look at the guy. Here's his goggles that popped off, right? So, sad that they did pop off, but I'm glad that they did, because that means they are removable and usable, right? So we can actually do things, posing with them and all that. And even the silver paint apps on it, not terrible. It's doing that thing with the lighting and the shadows where it almost looks like black is showing through. But then if I just change the angle, it does not look like black is showing through. So just one thing to kind of keep an eye out. Like if you're checking yours out in the store just to make sure that, you know, you can see if there's any details or anything wrong, definitely change the angle, look closely at that silver, because for me, if I was looking at it like this, I would immediately say, oh man, there's some black showing through. But then there's not. It's cleanly painted. Now, the black itself for the lenses, you can see doesn't quite go all the way down to the silver. So a little bit, a little off kilter, because this one seems to go a little bit further down. So yeah, maybe when it was applied, it was just at a little bit of an angle. And then over here, seems to get a little sloppy right down there. But this is out of that cast rubberized plastic, so it is very forgiving when applying it and posing it. And that almost looks like there's a little bit of extra black paint on there just to make that pop. You see that? What a fun little extra detail. I appreciate that, right? Especially on something that's just, I don't mean just, but an Imperial officer, right? So yes, it is still a character, and there are, we'll say there's no small characters when it comes to the Star Wars universe. But this one easily could have not had some extra details to it. And especially with there not being a lot of accessories that came with it, it's neat to see that they did do that, that the helmet is removable, that the goggles are posable, they can be down, they can be up. It's very cool. I am grateful for that. And even what looks like the little snaps that would be there to hold them down, those were painted silver. Little rivet snaps on there. Not perfectly, right? They kind of missed the target ever so slightly. It's a little off-centered of the sculpted dots, at least on the other side. That one's not too bad. It seems like the casting line brought some of the silver upwards. But the little chin strap here is, yet again, that rubberized plastic. And it looks like it is of the green rubberized plastic, or is that green paint? It looks like green rubberized plastic with black paint, because it looks like we got a little bit of black paint missing right there and some green showing through, and then yeah, there's a bunch of green up under there. So no matter what, pretty cool. Happy to see that. It's unfortunate that there's a little bit of paint missing, but I won't be too upset because it's at least underneath. I will probably never, not very frequently at least, see it again. And now let's take a look at the guy himself. The Imperial officer of Ferrix, the one and only, okay? So here he is. I mean, as far as the head, looking pretty good. Like, if we compare it to the artwork that was on the box, on the package, we'll bring it back, you know, not bad, right? So we're dealing with a good drawing of that character, and we've got a good, that facial copying is very well done. There's still that little bit of a shine to it, but not as bad as some of the ones that we've seen, right? Yeah, pretty good. The hair detail sculpted very nicely. I like how it's got all the little bits and pieces in there, right? And it's a nice solid brown. And eyebrows painted on very nicely. Everything looks pretty good. The eyes, very clear. Definitely looks like they're staring into your soul. He looks a little sad. Maybe he doesn't really like his job. Maybe he was a conscript or something. Now, here's something that kind of stands out. Good news that there is that helmet that might mask some of this, but this is the head like this. We can see around here on the back. Look at that huge gap. That is a massive gap. So this dumbbell or barbell joint or whatever that's called was definitely too large for this short neck. So I'm guessing there was probably some reuse under here, but they gave a larger barbell or dumbbell joint in there for the size of this head and the height of that neck. So there is a gap that just exists. So, you know, thank goodness for the helmet, because that should disguise a good bit of it. But maybe that's why. Maybe they were able to just kind of cut some costs and use some pieces that were left over. But side to side, you know, not too bad. The neck is attached to the torso, so everything that's going on here is that joint inside. So it does have pretty good movement there. And we kind of saw a little bit of the up and down. Up does go barely above center. Still looks pretty well looking straight forward. Down is better. Not the greatest. So again, I think maybe we're dealing with it's a hindrance of that larger joint in there. That seems like there's certainly some opportunity. Okay, moving on. Let's take a look at the shoulder. So no butterfly joint, but we do have good rotation in there. And yet again, this is another one that does not have a bicep tricep. This just has this odd elbow. It seems like older technology, not really trying much on that one, which is unfortunate. You know, if you're going to release a new figure, come on, bring us some new technology. Don't use so many repaints. I get it as far as the cost effectiveness and all that, but we want to see new stuff, not this constant reuse. Anyway, I move on. No forearm rotation, but we do have wrist rotation, and this one seems like it. Yeah, it's a forward backward. Right there, we can see the little joint for it, and then the other arm has that same functionality. This one is a trigger, so it is up and down for holding a weapon, his blaster, if you will. We have a nice little armor overlay on top of this, which we've got rubberized plastic right here. I don't know if it goes underneath. It certainly feels, yeah, that's definitely harder cast plastic underneath there. And then we've got the rubberized plastic just down here. But this is certainly cast in the black plastic with no paint apps applied or anything like that. And then as far as flexibility, this will give some, but not a lot. So he does not have a lot of flexibility going on there. We don't have anywhere near a split capability. Forward, pretty good, right? Because this does have the ability to move out of the way with that split down the front. Backwards, I'm not too optimistic, and I think my lack of optimism is holding true because this is just absolutely getting in the way. Sure, it will flex a little bit, but not much. But granted, that is not much farther than a normal human would probably kick backwards, unless you really swung. We do have upper thigh rotation, which is hidden by that, so it's another masked line, which I'm always happy to see, or not see, if you will. Double knee, I am happy to see that, especially with being a little bit, disappointed with the elbow. So that's good. It helps with his flexibility to be a good Imperial officer, run someone down. I don't know, maybe Cassian himself. No calf rotation. We do have foot movement. There we go. Yeah, so it does go back pretty well. And then forward, okay, but you can see this piece right here, this little lip on the boot, blocks a lot of that forward movement of the foot. And it also it feels like a little wonky bit of movement going on there, but it does do the ankle breaker. Let me see if the other foot has, yeah, it's definitely a tighter movement, and it wants to lift off pretty well. So that might need a little bit of heat, some hot water or something like that just to help loosen it up. But there we go, that's our guy. So let's take a look at some of these paint apps. We've already got a pretty close look with the head. The neck, certainly some opportunities. The shade is a little bit off. I don't know if you can tell in the camera. A little bit darker down here, but not too far off. I've definitely seen worse. But it's unfortunate that some of the black and that little spot is showing through. And it's not very clean around the neck. There's a little bit of almost like an overspray look going on there. But most of the rest of it does not have a lot of paint apps. We have the silver right here. So it's nice to see that little dot right there painted. And then all through here. These are pretty cleanly painted, I will say. The lines on them, not bad at all. I think they did a good job on that. I mean, yes, it's tough to get it up around the top edges, but they did it in a couple places, right? It's not perfect, but it is better than a lot that I've seen, even on the bottom. Look at that. Again, not perfect, but better. And then the rest of it is all just cast plastic. And then maybe down here, let's see, what are we dealing with? Are we dealing with, yeah, we're dealing cast in this color and then a little bit of black paint on it. It seems like it's okay. Am I seeing that right? Or is it cast in black with this color paint? You know, it looks like the feet might be in this color, and then this is a paint maybe that matches over a cast black lower leg. But either way, good thing about the colors being so close, it's hard to tell when there are issues, if there are issues. But it seems like, it's fairly well done. There's a couple spots where you can see green riding up on the edges here. You can definitely see it on that one. But you know what? That's one of those things you got to really look close to find. So, I mean, all in all, just the paint and everything on it, I think they did a great job. Do I think it could have had some other updated features? Yeah, absolutely. I am definitely disappointed about the elbows, but I'm not the one that makes the decisions. I'm the one that just buys these figures. But that is our Imperial officer from Ferrix, from Andor, and he stands well on his own, so I got to give him that. But we'll be right back with the 360s of him. Thanks. And there we have it, our Hasbro Star Wars Black Series 6-inch scale Imperial officer from the planet Ferrix in the Andor series on Disney+. So that was a long title to tell you that we've got our 360s of this figure. I hope you liked it. I think he's pretty neat. some paint opportunities and all that, and definitely some reuse, but it's neat. I don't have one like this in my collection, so it's fun to add it. So I hope you liked it. If you're interested in it, definitely check it out. I've seen them in stores, pretty readily available. Thanks. Hey everyone, we are currently running our Arrive Serpentor Arrive giveaway, where we are giving away one Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Serpentor with Air Chariot. All you have to do is comment on this video to be entered to win. Each video during the giveaway period will have a secret keyword shared within the video, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any episodes. Because the first person to comment that keyword gets pinned to the top of the comments and gets 2 entries for that video. A special thank you goes out to all of you for making it possible for us to be able to already start giving back. Well, that about does it. Thank you for checking us out as always and for joining us on this collecting journey. Look for at least 2 new videos each week, if not more. If you got something from today's episode and you haven't already done so, please subscribe and click that like button. If you'd like to see some more videos, there are a couple of quick links on your screen right now for you to check out. But remember, no matter what, thank you for taking the time, and we are all in this world of collecting together. Let's look out for each other. Thanks.